You really think you can control everything? Nathaniel Carter paused, his grip tightening around his bourbon glass as the unfamiliar voice pierced the silence. Control is my life, he replied, his tone cold and unwavering. A soft, almost mocking laugh followed. Then what happens when someone else starts claiming a place in your life? Before he could respond, his phone buzzed, a message lighting up the screen. She's here, and she's nothing like you expected. Who is this woman shaking up Nathaniel's carefully controlled world? And will his obsession with order become his biggest downfall? Hit like and subscribe to find out how one unexpected person turns a single Dad's world upside down. The penthouse gleamed like a fortress, its marble floors reflecting the dim glow of Manhattan's skyline beyond the towering windows. Nathaniel Carter stood at the edge of his office, a bourbon in hand, his reflection, a sharp silhouette against the city he'd bent to his will. At 38, he was the youngest CEO of Carter Financial, a man who thrived on order, every meeting scheduled, every risk calculated. His life was a machine, and he was its engineer. But tonight, a tremor ran through him, a whisper of something he couldn't name. He dismissed it as fatigue. Control was his armor, and it never failed. Down the hall, his 5-year-old daughter Lily slept, her small form the only chaos he couldn't tame. A single dad since his ex-wife Sarah vanished 3 years ago with nothing but a note. I can't do this. Nathaniel had rebuilt their world alone. Lily was his anchor, her laughter the only sound that pierced his walls. But she needed structure, a firm hand to guide her wild spirit. He delegated the task of hiring a tutor to his assistant, Margaret, with explicit instructions. Strict, professional, no nonsense. The doorbell's sharp chime broke his reverie. He glanced at his watch. 7:03 p.m. Late. He set the glass down and strode to the door, ready to establish dominance. When he opened it, the air shifted. A woman stood there, her floral dress a riot of color against the penthouse's sterile grays, her auburn hair tumbling free. She carried a canvas bag slung over one shoulder, her sneakers scuffed and casual. "Hi, I'm Emma Brooks," she said, her voice warm, almost playful. "Here for Lily?" Nathaniel blinked, his mind scrambling. "You're the tutor?" "Yep." She breezed past him, uninvited, her scent, something like lavender and sunlight, trailing behind. "Sorry I'm late. Subway broke down." "Where's the little star?" He stared, his control slipping. This wasn't the stern-suited figure he'd envisioned. "There's been a mistake," he said, voice like steel. "I'll call my assistant." "No mistake." Emma spun, fishing a crumpled email from her bag. "See? Tutor for Lily Carter. Start tonight. That's me." Nathaniel's eyes narrowed. Margaret had never misstepped in a decade. He'd deal with her tomorrow. For now, he'd test this intruder. 1 week, he said. "A trial. I expect discipline and results." Emma grinned, unfazed. "Discipline's boring. Let's see what Lily needs first." The first twist struck the next evening. Nathaniel returned from a grueling board meeting to chaos. His living room, once a shrine to order, was a fortress of pillows and blankets. Lily's giggles echoed as Emma's voice wove a tale. "The dragon hoarded numbers, not gold," she said, "and the knight had to count to 10 to win." Lily tossed pebbles, across the floor, squealing, "10! I got 10!" "What is this?" Nathaniel's voice sliced through the scene. Emma poked her head out, hair mussed, eyes bright. "Math lesson," she's adding with pebbles. "Way better than worksheets, right, Lily?" Lily nodded, her face alight. Nathaniel's chest tightened. He hated the mess, the noise, the breach of his rules. Yet Lily's joy was undeniable. She hadn't glowed like this since Sarah left. 1 week, he growled, retreating to his office. That's all. But the week became a siege. Emma's methods were anarchy. Storytelling replaced flashcards, park outings swapped for desk drills. She turned multiplication into a game with daisies, fractions into a pie-baking mess, in his pristine kitchen. Nathaniel watched, jaw clenched, as Lily thrived. She recited times tables while braiding Emma's hair, sketched graphs in chalk on the balcony. Worse, Lily clung to her. One night he found a drawing taped to the fridge. 3 stick figures, Daddy, Miss Emma, me, under. Happy family. His stomach lurched. This wasn't the plan. Emma was a tutor, not a replacement for the life he'd lost. Sarah's betrayal had taught him one truth: trust was a liability. Then came the second twist. On day 4, Nathaniel overheard Emma on the phone in the hallway, her voice low. "Yeah, I know it's risky, but she's worth it. I'll figure it out." She hung up, catching his glare. "Old friend," she said, shrugging. "Nothing big." But her eyes flickered. Guilt? Secrets? Nathaniel's instincts, honed in boardrooms, screamed warning. Who was she really? He resolved to dig deeper, but Lily's laughter pulled him back. He'd wait. For now. The trial ended on Friday. Nathaniel summoned Emma to his office, the city a glittering throne behind him. "You've done well," he said, voice cold. "But we're done." Emma's smile faded, then returned, softer. "If that's what you think's best." She left, her floral dress vanishing into the elevator. Nathaniel exhaled, order restored, until Lily broke. Saturday morning she sat at breakfast, silent, her cereal soggy. "Lily, what's wrong?" he asked, kneeling. She slid a drawing across. The table, Emma's face, blue tears streaming. Nathaniel's throat closed. He'd misjudged her bond with Emma, and now Lily paid the price. She'll be fine, he told himself, but the silence stretched, days of muted toys and blank stares. The third twist hit Tuesday night. Lily spiked a fever, her skin hot and damp. She thrashed in her bed, delirious, whimpering, "Miss Emma, I want Miss Emma." Nathaniel paced, helpless. The doctor said just a virus, but her cries gutted him. At 2 a.m., desperation won. He dialed Emma. She arrived in 30 minutes, hair wild, eyes heavy with worry. Without a word, she sat by Lily, stroking her forehead, humming a lullaby Nathaniel didn't know. Lily's whimpers faded, her breathing eased. Nathaniel watched. From the doorway, a stranger to this tenderness. When Lily slept, Emma stood, brushing past him. "She'll be okay," she whispered. "Call if you need me." She was gone, leaving a hollow he couldn't name. Morning brought Lily's weak smile. "Daddy," she rasped, "do you love Miss Emma?" The question was a blade, slicing through years of armor. Nathaniel froze. Love. He'd buried it with Sarah's note, locked it behind walls of control. "She's your tutor, Lily," he said, evading, but her eyes searched his, seeing what he denied. That night, alone with his bourbon, Nathaniel faced the wreckage of his past. Sarah's exit had shattered him, her note a scar he'd never healed. He'd rebuilt alone, a fortress for him and Lily. But Emma had breached it, her warmth seeping into cracks he'd ignored. Lily saw it. Why couldn't he? The central question burned. What if the life he'd mastered wasn't the one they deserved? It haunted him, relentless. He dug into Emma's mystery next day, calling Margaret. Who is she? Really? Margaret hesitated. Her resume was unconventional. No formal teaching degree, but glowing references. I thought she'd surprise you. Surprise me? Nathaniel snapped. She's a wild card. Maybe Lily needs that, Margaret said. Then hung up. He found Emma's social media, sparse, cryptic posts about second chances and fixing old mistakes. A photo from years ago showed her with a man, both smiling, then nothing. Who was she running from? The uncertainty gnawed, but Lily's drawing of their happy family stared back from the fridge. He texted Emma, "Meet us at the park." "Please." The park buzzed with life, kids shrieking, kites soaring. Lily ran ahead, clutching a newspaper kite Emma had taught her to make. Nathaniel watched Emma chase her, their laughter a melody he'd forgotten. He approached, hands shoved. Deep in his pockets. "I was wrong," he said, voice raw. "About you, about us. Lily needs you," and he met her gaze, exposed. "I miss you too." Emma tilted her head, searching him. "You hate losing control, don't you?" "Always have," he admitted. "But you make me think it's worth—" She stepped closer, her hand brushing his. "Then let's try, together." He nodded, a weight lifting. "One condition. Tell me who you were talking to that night." Her smile faltered, then steadied. "My brother, he's troubled. I came to New York to start over, help him if I could, that's all." Relief washed through him. No more secrets. Just truth. Months later, the final twist wasn't a shock but a revelation. Nathaniel, Emma and Lily sprawled on a picnic blanket, a scruffy puppy, Max, tumbling between them. The Ferris wheel loomed, and Lily tugged them toward it. Nathaniel hesitated, old instincts flaring, but Emma's hand in his anchored him. They climbed aboard, Lily nestled between them, Max yapping at the sky. As they rose, Manhattan unfurled below, not just the empire he'd built, but the family he'd found. Lily pointed at the horizon. Emma laughed and Nathaniel let go. Control had been his god, but this, messy, loud, alive, was his salvation. The wheel paused at its peak. "We're a real family now, right?" Lily asked, eyes wide. Nathaniel looked at Emma, her smile a promise, then at Lily. "Yes," he said, voice steady. Forever. Happiness wasn't a plan, he realized. It was this, choosing the unexpected, embracing the chaos, building a future not alone, but together. Emma hadn't been the tutor he'd wanted. She was the woman he'd dreamed of without knowing it. And as the wheel descended, Nathaniel Carter, once a king of control, surrendered to love. Hey, if this story gripped you, hit like and subscribe for more. What do you think? Could you trade control for a love that changes everything?